Welcome back, everybody. This is another edition of For the Love of Dog. Thank you so much for tuning in, Mom. I see you. Thank you. I'm here in set with Mr. Gary Newcomb. Gary is a dog trainer. He has really become more than that, though. He really is. Oh, geez, I don't know what we do without you. Seriously, you do so much for us. I appreciate you. I mean, it's not just about dog training. You help us with fundraising. You help us at almost all the big events. You're always here. The only time you say no is when you just physically can't be here. Yeah. So thanks for
I'm on a mission from dog.
Mission from dog. How? Anyway, this portion of the show, we normally try to answer any dog behavior questions. So if you have time, slip us a question and we'll answer it for you. In the meantime, I'm going to actually fill the question that I got last week, and I get this question quite a bit. And the question technically the question is, hey, Steve, what is the difference between positive reinforcement and what the little red dog does? Or in essence, what's the difference between positive reinforcement and dog behavior? And really quickly, the difference is dog behavior is trying to teach the humans how dogs see the world and how to tap into that to get them to motivate them to do your bidding. Not for evil, but for good. And then, of course, a positive reinforcement really means that you're using food as motivation. And that really is what it means. I know a lot of people think that positive reinforcement is, hey, I'm giving my dog pets when he does a good job.
I think that
you can stretch it to mean that, but
may be your negative opinion of it, kind of simplifying it, though.
Well, of course it is. It is a little bit, but in essence, really, it's like when you go to PetSmart for dog training. I think they say positive reinforcement is food.
Yeah, I think that a better definition that they would prefer would be
sure. I know they prefer something
using
else.
Rewards to strengthen behaviors that you like.
And the reason why Gary's chopping off my balls a little bit is because Gary uses food. Gary, though, is the exception to the rule in that I'm not saying he just uses positive reinforcement. He doesn't just do that. But
I love
his
me
timing,
a prong collar.
Yeah, but exactly. But Tom, who's Tom? But Gary, his timing. See, I was doing Gary, and I don't know what the hell I was doing. I'm senile. I'm having a seizure on set live. This is gonna go viral.
Don't judge me.
His timing is impeccable, and most people, dog trainers included, their timing is horrible. And having said that, I think Gary has some fun little mistakes or
bad training advice.
Yeah, bad training advice, which sometimes it happens to you and I, where the family's had multiple trainers and they're super confused and they get so many different angles and things they should be doing and not doing. I think it's kind of, I'm assuming, I haven't talked to you about this yet, but I'm hoping that some of these, this bad advice is kind of common bad advice, and maybe we can nip some of this shit in the bud.
I think a lot of it is crazy thinking that leads to the same bad advice coming out.
So tell me what you got on the docket there.
Okay. So what I did is I looked up an article, and it's a puppy website.
It's an actual website.
It's a website.
This website's giving us shitty advice.
Yes, this is a website giving shitty advice, but the person's claiming to be a dog trainer.
Okay.
So obviously we run into a lot of the same crap over and over as to how to fix problems that didn't work out, so they called us in.
Right.
So number one, the premise is this is the top 10 training advice that she wants to see go away.
Oh, okay. Ooh,
so this is issues that she has with that other trainers are giving their clients.
Okay, all right. So
and then I took issue with what she said. So be a treat to stop your dog from pulling on leash. Basically, you anchor on the dog.
And this is kind of totally plays into my lap when I say that most people, the timing is horrible.
Yes.
And this is the example. So are you going to keep reading, or you want to explain why that's a shitty?
I'm going to keep reading.
Okay.
I got a little teaser from her.
Bam.
Do you know how many times I tried to be a tree on walks with Leica, which I guess is her dog? 1,329, or at least somewhere around there. And did you know how she reacted? She'd keep pulling, whining, and looking at me like I was nuts.
Right. Right.
I did this for months, and every time she'd pull, I'd stop, and every step I made, she'd start pulling again. It didn't work from what I've been reading. It didn't work for others either. So we'll stop there on that one. So First of all, the training is bad. The training advice that she is looking at is stupid advice. You
Right.
don't just stop on a dog because the dog doesn't get a correction from that.
Right.
But she thought it was sound advice.
Right.
Tried it 1,300 times to do her estimate or something.
Right, right,
It didn't work, and she kept doing it.
Right.
So,
Right. So
right there, yeah.
Definition of insanity.
Yes,
Doing
exactly.
the same thing, expecting a different result.
So the thing about her is that she is solid from a positive reinforcement standard. So you could see where, any correction that she's saying is basically going to be a negative reinforcement to a dog is going to be a detriment to them.
Right.
Don't comfort your dog. It'll just reinforce their fear. This is another thing that she takes issue with, which I actually completely agree with.
I agree with that.
If you support your dog,
Right.
if you comfort your dog when they're nervous, you're reinforcing that behavior.
Right.
She thinks that's wrong.
She thinks that's wrong.
She thinks that's wrong.
Okay.
Is your dog scared of storms or lightning? Better ignore them. It'll certainly toughen them up, or at least that's how I imagine people who give this advice must feel. Seriously, if you've known anyone that's dealt with panic or anxiety, you probably know how horrible this advice is.
Right. Right. Right.
Bam. A
Right.
human. She starts instantly by if you know anyone who is scared, you're not talking about a scared human here. You're talking about a dog. What comforts a dog is not what comforts a human, and vice versa.
Right.
So it's not a matter of toughening your dog up. Dogs learn by association.
Right.
So if you reward a dog for a behavior you don't like, any behavior, regardless of the emotion behind it, you're going to strengthen that behavior.
Right.
So do you jump your dog's ass? No, but when you set a threshold when your dog gets nervous.
Right.
You can sit there. You can come next to me. You can do this. But if you start whining, bam, you're instantly going to get a correction. You're going to set your limit like any boundary, and you're going to hold it.
Right.
And going back to Mama Dog, she doesn't care if you're nervous, you're scared, you're sad, you're mad, you're glad.
You got to get in the program.
Yeah, you're getting with the program, and don't cross my boundaries.
Right. And I think the key difference in what we're always trying to explain to every family is, yes, of course, what comforts your child in this situation is not going to work on your dog. And the main reason is because you can talk to your child.
Yes.
When you hug your child and that thunder goes off and you hug your child, it's like, look, I got you. I love you. Nothing's ever going to happen.
Yep.
While I'm here. The child is human, going to understand the words and the thought behind it. But if you do that with your dog, all your dog is going to understand is, oh, you're holding me.
Like I said, a dog wants to know what you want, do it, get the reward. And if what you want is me to look scared and pathetic and shake like a leaf and I get what I want, then that's my trick.
Keep feeding me.
Yep. Yeah. So, that's her problem is that dogs need to be comforted when they're scared. So the advice to not comfort them is bad advice.
Well, one thing I think, and it's kind of a subtle thing, when it comes to trying to comfort your dog when they are feeling overly nervous or not wanting to do something. The analogy that I like that you've heard me say it a million times is when my dad, or when I was trying to learn how to swim, my mom kept letting me out of swim lessons. And my dad said, well, screw this. This is stupid. And just basically said, hey, Steve, we're going to the pool. And he said, look, I love you. Nothing's going to happen. You're not going to die. But you are swimming today, And that's how it is. That's how you have to be with your dog. Your dog has to understand at a certain point, as long as I'm here.
There's a loving firmness.
There's nothing. Yes. That's it. If my dad, and I always tell people, a bully would have taken me by the arm and threw me in the pool.
How I learned.
Yeah.
My uncle said, hey, is that a quarter in the bottom of the pool? And I went and looked at, bam, from the back.
Right.
Look, you're swimming.
I'm not a proponent of that. To me, that's not I'm not above doing that. And I have done things like that with my children that I'm kind of ashamed of. Nothing violent, but my point is, it's with dogs, it's always tough love.
Yep.
With your children, it doesn't have to always be tough love.
Yes.
Now, PJ, my wife, would disagree with that statement, which that's a debate for human beings.
Yep.
But when it comes to dogs, it is always tough love.
Yep.
And I know that speaking for myself, that's the hardest thing for me to do, And I know that might shock people because I come off and I am a jerk.
Kind of a hard ass.
I don't look at myself. Look, I'm a skinny little white man.
I say that all the time.
No one's gonna.
I'm not intimidating. The dogs that listen to me because I'm intimidating.
Right. I'm not that. Can I lose I lose my temper all the time. I say shit I shouldn't say. I'm only right 50% of the time. I can see why some people call me a bully. I really can. I get that a lot in Yelp. I get that a lot, and I understand why people's perception of that. But I'm a lot of things. I'm not. I say a lot of stupid things. I have a horrible temper. My tolerance level for stupidity and a lack of manners is super low. If you're stupid, I will give you all the slack in the world. If you're rude, I will give you all the slack in the world. But when you are stupid and rude, I am like, I might hit you. You know, I'm serious.
Oh, I know.
I know what I'm saying. So I try really hard not to come across as a bully because of my experience with dogs. And this is what I'm always talking about with people. The more I'm trying to be a good dog owner, it only helps me be a better human.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's helped me a lot with insight and things like that. I'm still working at it.
Yeah. No, if we could let shit go, and we live like them and let shit go and live in the moment and all that, yeah, the world would be a lot better place.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think the thing that I do love genetically about dogs is they have this internal reset button.
Yeah.
And it goes off every day.
Yes. It goes off
every hour.
minutes. Yeah.
And you got to love that.
Yeah.
And I get why that would be detrimental in a lot of ways, but in some other ways, it's
we have
great.
a lot longer list of shit we have to get done in a day then.
Oh, yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
What are the bad things that you had to say?
She says that another rule she'd like to see go away is assuming that your dog is asserting dominance or using a punishment, that your dog is setting boundaries. So one of the biggest training myths I hear is dogs who walk ahead of you or go through doors before you are asserting their dominance. Let's face it, dogs love going for walks. Let's face it, their normal pace is a lot faster than ours. It's a natural response to pull back when you're being held back from seeing, sniffing, and exploring the world that lies ahead of you. If your dog is pulling on leash, it's not because they're trying to be dominant. It's just normal dog behavior. Unless you teach your dog to walk nicely on a loose leash, they'll probably continue to pull for years.
Wow. I think she's missing the true essence of why you don't want dogs ahead of you, why you don't want.
This chick has thrown dog behavior out the window.
Yeah, the whole essence of ownership of a dog is trying to show the dog you have to listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that it's always in. Let me back up a lot here because I have put a lot of thought into the daily ritual of walking dogs and letting the dog walk ahead of you. It's not dominance that the dog is walking ahead of you. I mean, sometimes it is, but really, the reason why you and I are saying that you shouldn't do it is because the dog's not allowed to make decisions.
Yes.
Until you say, okay, you can go make decisions.
Yep.
At ease, do what you want. That is what she's missing.
Yep.
She's being too simplistic, using the word dominance,
yes.
right?
Dominance is definitely not a word that I would...
No.
But definitely a disrespect of your boundaries. Yeah, the dog knows your boundaries, and the dog is stepping on them, making its decisions, and if you let that go, then the dog...
You're going to have trouble.
Yes, the dog...
I guarantee her, that's what I'd like to tell her if she was here, is like, I guarantee you, some dogs genetically, if you let that shit keep going, you're going to have a major problem.
Oh, yeah.
Some dogs are okay with it.
No, and I tell people, I've softened my view, and I tell people, if you've got a great dog, walk them on a harness, if that's what you want to do. There's some dogs that are bulletproof. You can do everything wrong, and they'll do everything right.
I agree with that.
So I used to be like, no, there's never a time your dog will develop bad habits if you put it in a harness. But,
I just always ask, show me that your dog listens to you.
You can get that redirect, then you can use your harness.
Then you can use your harness. Or if you're living in an area where you don't have to have a leash, even better.
Yeah.
Look, I wish Tank was a lot better off leash. He is 65-70% good. However, his trigger is a shitty little unbehaved dog. he's going to lose his shit.
Yep.
And he shouldn't. It's
Yep.
my fault. He should look at me. And my defense is, well, I got him too late. It might be me.
Yeah.
It might be me. But my point is, I'm all for working off leash. I'm all for showing me that your dog is well behaved. And yeah, I don't care what equipment you use.
Yep.
But I've in the years I've been doing this, I've only seen 2 dogs that passed my test of the owner proving to me that the dog was listening.
Yep.
It's pretty rare.
Yeah, no, I had a lesson just a few days ago. They walked on a harness, and I said, look, I'll give it a shot. And if we can get the redirect, cool. And I could get the redirect, but I had to keep doing it way more than I wanted to.
Yeah.
So I told them, look, I'd move up to a martingale.
Yeah, go back to martingale for a little bit, and then maybe you can try again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I said, even if you put the martingale on the dog, walk it on the harness, and when the dog messes up and won't dial back in, put it on the martingale. And then if it's cool, put it back on the harness.
Yeah, and getting back to this whole dominance thing, I want everyone to understand that dogs genetically are going to be a lot like human beings. You're going to have shy dogs. You're going to have confident dogs. Alpha, omega, a beta. These are terms that humans put on the type of dogs that we see. Obviously, alpha means leader. Beta is second in charge, maybe looking for a chance to become the alpha.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. The dominance thing is more genetic. About the
absolutely.
genetics. When I say genetic, I mean the genetics of the dog, right? Again, I'm gonna belabor this point. I'm gonna really bring it home. I'm gonna be repetitive. The reason why you don't want to do this is you're trying to show your dog he's not allowed to make decisions. And walking ahead of the human is him making the decision.
Yep.
In case the human said, hey, you know what? Go ahead.
Yeah, and when the dog's walking in front, it's going to start a whole slew of them. I'm going to pick where I
Right.
stop and smell. I'm going to mark everything. I'm going to start reacting to dogs. I'm going to react to people on skateboards. They're going to start making all kinds of decisions when you let that first one go.
And I agree with that. And you know what made me really think about it? And it goes back to the first time I met you. And it's, I just recently thought about this. Remember Mark's ritual of like when we got to work, he wanted to have a human walk with the dogs around that outside area, maybe 3 or 4 laps.
Yep.
And the whole point of the ritual was to get the dogs kind of woken up and show, hey, I'm in charge. You need to follow me. Now, here's the thing that makes me think about what you and I are talking about now. When you're in the middle of a pack and you're still making the dogs follow you, there are some dogs that are going to want to be ahead of you. My rule is I will allow you to walk ahead of me as long as when I make a turn or whatever I'm doing, you have to still go on that path.
On with me.
And the thing that I liked about that ritual, it was fun for me to see which dogs would follow me, and no matter how I went, is this dog in front of me, even though I'm making a right turn, is he turning with me? That's what I care about.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I will allow you to have your dog walk ahead of you as long as they're not making those decisions about where we're going.
Yep.
And that's the hard part.
Yeah, and if you want to draw your boundary line that far out, absolutely you can.
Right.
In general, I tell people to draw their boundary line as far back because it makes it the easiest for you to be consistent with.
Absolutely.
But yes, if you want to dial into your actual dog's behavior as to what their intent is for walking in front, you could probably get away with it.
Right.
But you're going to be then having to micromanage the secondary reactions of, am I pulling? Am I smelling? Am I doing that stuff? Am I staying tuned into my alpha?
Right.
So,
and the thing too is, which I didn't get to practice, and it would be almost impossible. Let's say you are walking your pack without equipment, and you're walking, in an urban area, and you've got these dogs kind of walking in front of you. And let's just say it's 6 or 7 dogs. You got a pack of 10 dogs. Oh, I'm sorry, maybe you got a pack of 15 dogs, and then now you've got a stimulus, another dog walking over here. Now, the true test is, are these dogs in front going to be looking to me going, okay, what do we do now, cowboy?
Yeah, and it's going to be a sliding scale.
Yes, it is.
From black to white.
Yes,
there's going to be some dogs that'll turn and look at you, and there's going to be that dog that you lose. And then you've got, 14 other dogs that are off leash that you got to try to maintain while you reel that one back in.
And this is the kind of shit I wish we could study.
Yeah.
Because you'd have to have all the dogs with muzzles and to keep it safe and see what... Because no one's ever really done these kind of studies.
A larger, enclosed area. And
yeah. All right, we beat that to death, and I think it's probably time to transition to our next segment. Hey, you guys, thank you so much for listening, and please subscribe to For the Love of Dog. We need your support. We need your help. if you can, you get a chance, please go to our website, thelittlereddog.org. You can fundraise by helping us with our current, donation platform that we always need money for the dogs. Or you can volunteer, adopt, foster. We need you. Take care. Bye. Hey, everybody. It's that time of year again. It's home for the holidays this year for our year-end giving, and we need your support, please. If you go to our website, thelittlereddog.org, you'll see a section in there for Home for the Holidays, where we're trying to save 50 dogs and also generate $50,000. So please give so we can save these underdogs. thelittlereddog.org. Find the section Home for the Holidays. We need your support, please. Thank you so much and have a great holiday. (2021) Here we come. Getting rid of 2020. I forgot. During the first part of the show, I forgot to say Happy New Year. We're approaching the new year. So anyway, currently we are on set with PJ Rosh. PJ Rosh is going to either attack me or give me some fun stories here.
I have never attacked you.
Oh, you attack just off camera. Off camera, you attack me.
No, I've never attacked you. Don't believe the hype.
Don't believe the hype. Anyway, welcome back, PJ. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. So happy New Year, everybody. We're approaching that end of 2020, which I think all of us, I think I speak for all of us when I say we would love to have 2020 in our rear view. Yes, it's been a tough year for everybody, and I know a lot of people are hurting, and we are always asking for money, and that doesn't go unnoticed for me. So I do appreciate that. In some ways, it's been a really good year for us. Obviously, at the beginning of the pandemic, we were a little worried that, we might not make it because, we rely on donations. And when people
Sure.
are hurting, it's hard for them. But people have been very generous, and they've been really helping us save a lot of dogs. And I thought we'd, kind of recap a few things really quickly. I mean, obviously, March 16th, we were supposed to have St. Pity's Day, and that's when everything shut down. So we couldn't do that. We didn't know what we were going to do we were going to adopt dogs or anything. So, we pivoted, my favorite word of 2020, pivoted really well. We went into virtual events.
Right.
We did a couple of telethons virtually that were successful. So, all in all, even though we were hurting because we couldn't do in-person events, and we do miss you. We miss you all because we do love seeing you and getting out and having the dogs out. But it has been, it's been good in a way because people really have stepped up and continued to donate, and that's been amazing. Speaking of the telethon, I thought it was interesting. I don't know if everybody knows, and we have won a Marcom Awards.
No, the second telethon.
Yeah, so the
we won an
marketing
award.
and communication, Marcom, they have awards, and we actually won two awards on that. We won an honorable mention for the email campaign that we did, or I should say that Mackenzie did, because really it was all her.
That was all her.
And then
the gold
we
award.
won a gold award with Montevideo for who produced the telethon part 2.
Part 2.
That was hosted by Gary Cannon and Mackenzie McLean, and that won a gold award, which is pretty prestigious.
It's
so,
super prestigious.
So
and when we get our statuette, we will totally show it to you.
We will
on
show
camera.
it to you. You will see our logo
Because
on
you think
our
we're
site.
lying right now, but we're not lying. We actually won this thing.
We do win it, and I'm very excited. We have entered a couple of others, and I'm excited. Even if we don't win, we got this one, and it's a gold award with Montevideo. So again, thanks to them. They have been.
It definitely was a team effort for sure.
Huge team effort.
Everyone had ideas, and then the execution and the production value. I do think that whenever you hear people in the entertainment industry think the people behind the scenes, you kind of take it with a grain of salt. But I have to tell you, speaking from firsthand, that if it wasn't for people like Nicole and Sam, Montevideo, it does definitely set us apart. And 100%. It's all about that. I mean, our ideas, I think, are always good, but it doesn't mean you're going to execute it well.
Yeah, I think you and I are really good at having great ideas. Or I'm sorry, I should speak for myself. I have good ideas, but then I'm always like, let me get somebody else to execute it. Because I remember when I told you that we were going to do a virtual adoption event, and you're like, no. And anybody who saw the very first adoption event knows it's very different than the way it is now.
Yeah, but then once I showed Sam how to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was it. Thank dog you could do that.
Because Sam didn't know what the hell he was doing.
No, like I said, I've certainly learned a lot. We've gotten ourselves out there. We put our podcast as a video as well. That was a new thing that happened. The telethons were hugely successful. We had so many people who've been matching donations, which are doing it again for the Home for the Holidays campaign, which we have just a few days left, and you can still make a donation. If you text TLRD to 44-321 and make a donation and help us get those 50 dogs home before the end of the year. But yeah, I think there's some other things. Obviously the pandemic brought a lot of people who wanted to foster, and honestly, we were overwhelmed at the time with all of the foster apps, and we didn't have dogs to put in the foster home. So unfortunately, we lost a lot of that momentum because we just didn't have enough dogs to put into foster. It was great.
Right.
At one point, we had 0 dogs in boarding for a while.
For at least a week.
It was for a while. It was probably
it was
longer
not
than that.
longer than a week. Was it really?
It was like maybe a couple months. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
get out of town. All right.
So, Steve pays really close attention to that.
I'm going to see proof of this.
But, right now we still have multiple dogs in boarding. That foster excitement has dried up. So, whether it's Home for the Holidays or any day, we need fosters. That's how we save lives. We do not have our own facility yet. Not sure if that'll ever happen, but even if we had that, we would still need fosters.
Well, yeah, we always would need fosters.
Fosters
sure.
really do a lot of things. Obviously, they help reinforce training. They give the dog a safe, warm, inside place to live and sleep. They take them on walks, which helps with all of the behaviors that people give up dogs for, and it just gets them used to being in a family, in a home, and what that looks like. And that's really what fosters do, and it's amazing. We have some amazing ones, as you all know. We talk about Kelly and Joanna. They've both fostered about 300 dogs for us. They do a lot of moms and puppies, and I'll tell you, we've got a lot of moms and puppies that need fosters.
Yeah, between both of them, they're close to 600 dogs.
Yeah, which is
that's crazy.
Just amazing.
It's a crazy number.
And if that scares you as a foster, you don't have to do that. You can take one dog at a time. We have one foster who has fostered a dog once a month.
Yeah, we don't throw 300 dogs at you the first day.
But that really does help us and help the dogs, and that's how we save more dogs. So unfortunately, we do have a lot of dogs in boarding still going into 2021, and we would love to see them all either be adopted or get into fosters. As a foster, we provide all of the supplies, the vet care, training, but you have to do some work, and it is hard work, and there probably will be potty accidents. There probably is going to be something that's chewed up. But at the end of the day, if you do that, you will save a life, and that's amazing. And that's the thing that I think most of the fosters realize. Although sometimes it's hard to give that dog up, they realize that was them. They saved that dog's life, and that's what we're looking for. So we're looking for a few good fosters who. Yeah.
And by the way, if you go to our website and you click on fosters, I think we do a good job bringing that point home.
Yeah.
It's all about the dog. It's not about making you feel good right off the bat. You will feel good, but you have to put the work in first.
Yeah, it's like anything else. It's really a tough job, but you will love it.
Job.
If you do it right, you'll love it. But, and even if you're not sure about it, we need temp fosters. We need foster coverage for holidays or
people
dogs,
go on vacation.
People going on vacation, dogs coming out of surgery that need crate rest. So there's a variety of things, that we need fosters for. So that's another thing that I just want to put a plug out there, because we always need fosters. And I would like to see us grow our foster base, exponentially going into 2021. So what was your favorite thing this year?
Oh, for me, it doesn't sound like a very warm and cozy thing, but I do take a lot of pride into the fact that, again, using the word you hate, that we pivoted from the physical adoption events to a streaming event. And I've said before, it's not really a surprise, but I would, even when things go back to normal, I prefer doing it this way. Yes, we'll still have physical adoption events, but in a lot of ways, it's so much more efficient. Plus, you and I have experienced the adopters that come out of PetSmart and they go, "Oh my God, there's dogs." We've kind of been thinking about getting a dog, and so they get excited, and then they say, okay, we want this dog. I think we do a good job interviewing this type of person. However, I have a feeling, and I need to study this, I have a feeling that when people fail, I'm betting that there's probably a huge percentage of people that we adopted to in that scenario. And maybe we weren't as cautious as we need to be.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
Well, I knew you would, but my point is, whether you agree with me or not, that's not possible with the streaming events.
No. So to your point, I do think what's really good about the streaming, well, there's multiple things. For us, probably people who come to the events don't really think about it, but it is a lot of work to organize the in-person event. Frankly, it's a lot of work to organize the virtual events too.
Right.
But the in-person event, you really have to think about it, because if the dog is not good with other dogs or not good with kids,
it's all about safety,
or scared and has been known to nip, you really either can't have them there, or you have to really have a good person handling them and really watchdoggy and being vigilant to keep everybody safe. You and I are constantly scanning. Like, I always feel like, we're like the Cylons from Space 1999 or whatever the hell that show was, where they're like just
right.
Battlestar
We're
Galactica.
definitely rovers doing those things.
Because you're constantly trying to avoid a bad situation happening.
And a lot of times when you're barking at a volunteer or you're barking at someone that just came out of PetSmart to keep everyone safe, they look at you like you have three eyes, but they don't understand you're just trying to keep everyone safe.
Yeah, we don't want anybody bit. We don't want any dogs to fight. We don't want anybody to get sick. We have to keep the dogs healthy. We need to make sure that no one has kennel cough when it comes. So there's just a lot of things. And then obviously the obvious thing is that you interact with a bunch of people. So can't do that now. There's a pandemic. So there's still a lot of work that go into the virtual events. Don't get me wrong. I know we make it look easy because, again, Monty Video has they have a great setup. People are impressed when they come around. It's almost like this, beautiful studio in downtown Lake Forest. But it's still a lot of work. It's just that we're able to pace people. Obviously, we're trying to social distance, so we're pacing people, we're pacing dogs. So it's just easier to keep everybody safe that way. And I think the other benefit is that there's a lot of people, we're in Orange County, and if you're interested in a dog and you're in LA and San Diego, you can't hit multiple events all the time. And this takes that out. You can sit there and you can watch, and it's not exactly like interacting with a dog, but you can see the dog's personality and see if that's something that you're interested in. And then you can meet them and interact with them in person. But I think that, we've gotten a lot of people who watch and then go, oh, I would like to meet this dog. So I think it's good. We also use those videos on their profiles, which is super helpful.
Well, that's the other thing that's so awesome about the events is, again, Nicole and Sam get good content to help them get adopted. And we had such a great show at the last one. The numbers weren't great, but the cool thing about the show from last time is we had a lot of people say, oh, hey, I saw this dog on the show, which is awesome, and question. We have to make them fill out the application at that point, right? So make sure that everything that we want is there. I don't know. I just think that I think that if I really think about it, the main reason why I like the streaming events is we can control more things.
Yeah.
We can control
and keep people
dogs,
safe.
and that means keeping people safe. And we've got about 30 seconds left, and want to elaborate my other favorite part of 2020 relative to the little red dog is the fact I was so proud of the senior people. They really did step up because of the angst of all these problems that we had. People like Melinda that took on more responsibility. Carlo, Joanne's always amazing, and Kelly's amazing. Sean helping with the foster program. Mackenzie doing such a fabulous job with not just fundraising and social media, but the thank you, the way that she came up with thanking donors is absolutely amazing. You and I get to take credit for it, but it was all her. I'm just so impressed with everybody on the senior team. Is there someone that I didn't mention? These people are so special. they put in the extra time. They're not getting paid for it. Is anyone that I missed out?
Yeah,
on the
we
senior
got
team?
we got some new people too, because we have Rachel,
Rachel's
who's really
been great.
been super helpful. Monique, who also does
Monique, fundraising. Oh my gosh,
fundraising, doing apps, all
Right.
of that. Brianna has really always been helpful. I mean, I
Right.
just we're very lucky and very blessed. And I do want to say one more thing about Mackenzie, because not only is she the director of communications and the emails, the social media, all of that is hers. Fundraising is huge. That's all her. And then she's been the host of our virtual events, which
Right.
has just really been fun to see her. And she's really great with that. And she co-hosted the last virtual
no, we've got some
telethon.
email about that when I hosted it, the numbers were better. I can't confirm.
I don't think that's true. But she, she's really stepped up. And, like Steve mentioned the video. She actually does a video for everybody who donates, which is a ton of work.
There's how many people have donated, Sam? Like 400. Yeah, so she's done 430 videos.
Yeah, and then she's done more than that even. So, we call her the Chief Gratitude Officer.
She's done a good job.
And she's done an amazing job, and I just want to put that out there. But to Steve's point,
We have been lucky with the kids. They don't have to help us.
No,
They've helped us.
And they're really good at it.
They are good
like
at it.
Sean really took over the foster program and has really implemented a lot of things there. He came up with the video, idea about
Right.
the adoption application.
Well, the podcast was his idea to begin with anyway.
Yeah, and he did the podcast initially.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I mean, again, our senior team is pretty amazing.
Wouldn't trade him for nothing.
Our volunteers, we've got some amazing volunteers like Quincy, who runs the dog walker, program, the schedules and everything.
Right.
And then our dog walkers, Bridget, Russ, Lynn Marafino, Debbie Jackal. I'm missing somebody. Anyway, Quincy also walks dogs.
And if we, I'm sure we're missing some people, and it's not because of a lack of love. It's just horrible memories. We're old. I can't remember.
No, my point is we just have a lot of really solid yes, we have a lot of solid fosters. We have a lot of solid volunteers, and who, like Steve said, including the senior team, nobody gets paid on this team. It's a labor of love. It's all volunteer based. And
we get kicked in the teeth a lot.
A lot. But you know what? Right. That's the thing. The team is nimble, and they can weather a lot, and we are a team, and we care about each other, and they care about the dogs. And coming out of the most difficult year I can remember, and going into a new year, 2021, I'm hopeful. But I know we'll be okay because we have a great team.
We do, and I think we may have forgot Carlo and Sarah. They've been amazing.
Oh my
Stepped
God.
up.
And
so
we
much
also do
with
cats
more dogs.
now because of them.
Yeah, thanks, Carlo, for the cats. You know how I feel about cats, Carlo.
But it's nice to be able to, we haven't been able to save cats before. I mean, here and there, not a lot.
Sure, we
but,
definitely.
Yeah, we raised the bar on that, and to Steve's chagrin.
I had to do forums and all that kind of thing. Anyway,
yeah, it was so hard for you.
It was. Well, I think that's a perfect place to stop. Here's to 2021. We survived 2020. Everyone that's listening, also, we actually want to thank all the people that do listen to us.
All 10 of you.
We 10. We had a special shout out to Peru. We're number 4 in Peru. Awesome.
I just want to say, everybody, thank you for listening, watching, supporting us. Stay safe and healthy, and we're very excited to go into 2021 with you.
We love you. Thank you so much. Please tune in, subscribe. If you can't do that, go to our website, thelittlereddog.org. There's all sorts of ways you can help out. Take care, everybody. Happy New Year! Woo! Choo, choo, choo.